Hi there, I'm Char. Welcome back to the Simple Spells for the Home playlist. This is a viewer request for a new salt and water spell to absorb negative energy. With the holidays coming along, there's going to be a lot more stress in our lives, and it's really time to have a visual of the blockages that we get with this, like the blockages of happiness. So when we do a salt and water spell, what we're doing is putting intention into this jar to absorb negative energy around our home. And the result is really, really cool. So there is science involved, but the intention is where the magic is, right? So we're going to need a empty jar, one that you're not going to need anymore. I recycle salad dressing jars. We're going to need some simple table salt right here. A tablespoon for measuring, a 1 cup liquid for measuring, and I just have this little lid here to put underneath the jar because sometimes the salts come right over the edge. You see that? So this is the last one I did, and it is time to replenish my visual energy absorber. Look at how cool. Can you see in there? There's a little tiny bit of liquid left. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in here. That is all the cool crystalline that's happened along the bottom. It is time for a new one, and seeing how it's the beginning of the month, and I have had this one since October 6th. So there we go, you guys. It is most definitely time to do a new one. So on my jar, I have put my date and the intention of it. This is to absorb negative energy. And I've put my salt and water. And this time, I've actually put my measurements on the back. So we are going to measure 3 tablespoons of salt into this jar. We are going to add 1 1/3 cup of warm water and stir. Right now, I'm very particular about these measurements. There's reasons I'm using thirds. It's very powerful, so I want extra intention going in here. This is also a basic spell. So start off with the basics. If you want to enhance it by doing it in the moon, if you want to enhance it by coloring your salt, if you want to enhance it by using the moon salt that you made, and if you don't know how to make it, check out my video called Making Moon Salt. If you want to enhance this in any way that you want to, go ahead and do that. This is a very basic spell. This is the very basics of it. Anytime you make anything like this your own, you are adding more power to it. So this is what I do for me. This is what works for me, and has worked for several clients as well. So let's jump right into it here. Oh, thank you, furnace, for providing me heat. So I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of salt right in here. If it's a little bit more, that's okay if it spills in. 2, 3. By the power of 3, so mote it be. I forgot to get my spoon. So there's that much salt in there, and this is how it starts off, totally clear. All right, and then I'm going to add a measured cup of 1 1/3 water. That's 1 cup. 1 cup. Plus 1/3. So I'm just looking at the 1/3 marker there. So 1 cup plus 1/3 into our jar by the power of 3, so mote it be. And we're just going to take our spoon and stir, stir, stir. People are going to say, stir it clockwise. People are going to say, stir it counterclockwise. People are going to say, oh no, you shouldn't stir it both ways. Stir it however it feels good to you. If you want to be specific and stir it only one way because that has more power to you, then do that. If you want to only stir it the other way, then by all means do that. If you want to stir it around all willy-nilly, go ahead and do that. The point of this is to put the energy into this salt and water and let it know what its job is. The part about the magic is the intention you put into that water. Thank you, water, for absorbing this negative energy. Thank you, salt, for crystallizing that negative energy so I can see my blockages dissipating. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for keeping the energy around my home clean and safe. Thank you very much, salt, for doing your job. Thank you, water, for flowing and keeping things flowing in my home. So as you're stirring, those are the things you want to be thinking about, even speaking them out loud. And I use warm water to help the salt dissolve better. You can use any kind of salt. I'm just using basic table salt because it's affordable. Don't go wasting your best. This is a simple spell, very basic. And there it is, by the power of 3, so mote it be. So I'm using 3s today as my power. Do, 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 do. So this jar of salt and water now has a designated job to do to absorb the negative energy in the home. And this is the same way that this one here started out. So I will do a... At the end of the month, I'll do a video showing you all my jars that I have because I've kept them on my altar just because they look so cool on the insides. So the science behind it is the water evaporates and the salt crystals form. And now whether or not it's the same amount of salt that I've put in that comes out, I have not scraped and measured it. But the reaction that happens in there is very cool. So there's a lot of science that go behind it. As the water evaporates, the salt crystals are forming on the edges of the glass. Yes, please use glass, not plastic, so that it will work better for you. And that way you can see what's going on the inside. Because I use this so often I can use it as an indicator now. So if I notice that crystals are starting to come up and I'm feeling a little bit hairy, well, you know what? Then I'll take a break and I'll assess the situation and I'll have a look at things. So this is one of the ways that I keep negative energies under control in my home. It's a really, really good visual thing. And this, I don't know how long it's going to take this time. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes it goes faster. Sometimes it goes slower. So there we go, you guys. That is it. Bright blessings to you. Let me know how your salt develops in your simple spells on your counters, where you're putting it and what you're doing with it. Thanks so much for watching this video and hanging out in the Simple Spells playlist. It is really that easy just to get going and get it started. All right, bright blessings to you, and I will see you next time. Bye. Click a box hanging out around here. Go to the playlist.